الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله أكرمه من نبوته وجعله رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالتك وصل على وصيه وأخيها أمير المؤمنين وعلى الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين وصل على سبتي الرحمة الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف القائم المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا سقما إلا شفيته ولا عيبا إلا سترته ولا رزقا إلا بسطته ولا خوفا إلا أمنته ولا سوءا إلا صرفته ولا حاجة هي لك رضا ولي فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. If you kindly move a little bit forward towards the podium, move forward so we have more space for the newcomers, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We are talking about the subject of al-mas'uliyya. Al-insanu huwa al-makhluq al-mas'ul. And this is the third khutbah on this subject. We already mentioned that over 100 verses in the Quran about the concept of responsibility. That means that we as human beings are responsible for what we think, for what we say, and for what we do. And this is the difference between human beings and other animals. We all are responsible. Some of us less, some of us more. Depends on our awareness, depends on our authority, and depends on our ability. This makes us less or more responsible. The prophets are more responsible because they are more aware and they are more authorized and they are more able spiritually. Now, we talk about our responsibility towards Allah, and that is Ubudullah, Ati'ullah, Ittaqullah, Udhkurullah, Istajibu lillah, to reflect on God, to remember Him, and to worship Him, to work with Him, and to follow His commandments. Almost 6,236 verses in the Quran tell us what is it that Allah likes and what is it that He doesn't like. So He made it clear for us to remember our responsibility to do what He likes and stop what He doesn't like. And the Quran makes it very clear. And then our responsibility towards Rasulullah, peace be upon him, مَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. If He said go, go. If He said stop, stop. مَنْ يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهَ. If you obey the Prophet, you are obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, today we go to the third stage of this discussion, our responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. That He said, Kitab Allah wa itrati. He talked about the itra, right? أذكركم الله في أهل بيتي أذكركم الله في أهل بيتي أذكركم الله في أهل بيتي. He said it 3 times. That I remind you of your responsibility towards the Ahlul Bayt, the family of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Number 1, to know them. من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة الجاهلية. To know your Imam, al-Ma'rifah. There is another hadith from Imam Ali, من مات على فراشه وهو على معرفة حق ربه ورسوله وحق أهل بيته مات شهيدا. Subhanallah. You know that the shahada, martyrdom, is the highest and the most valuable and the most beautiful way of meeting with the Lord. The most dignified death in Islam is the death of martyrdom. Imam Ali is saying that if someone dies while this person knows his Lord or her Lord, knows his messenger and the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, mata shahida. Even if he dies in a normal way, his death is a dignified death of martyrdom. Number two, responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt, al-mawaddah. قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى لكل شيء أساس وأساس الإسلام حبنا أهل البيت. The foundation of this faith is مودة أهل البيت, love of the Itra, the family of the Prophet. Responsibility number three, and I'm trying to be very quick because all of this stuff, they need 1 hour of talking about everyone, but just very briefly. Responsibility number three, al-ihtiram, to show respect for Ahlul Bayt. Inna Ahl Bayti nujumu Ahl al-Ard faqaddimuhum wa la tuqaddimuhum. Show respect for the family of the Prophet, for those leaders and successors of Rasulullah. Put them ahead of yourself, ahead of their ideas, ahead of your ideas. Their choices ahead of your choices. قَدِّمُوهُمْ وَلَا تُقَدِّمُوهُمْ. Let them be ahead of you. Don't be ahead of Ahlul Bayt. Don't be extremist. Just be like Abul Fadl. Relationship with his Imam. نفسي لسبت المصطفى الطهر وقى. نفسي لسبت المصطفى الطهر وقى. إني أنا العباس أغدو بالصغى ولا أخاف الشر يوم الملتقى. The day of decision, the day of destination, the day that I meet with my Lord, I have no fear to put my leader, Al-Imam al-Hussein, ahead of me. I'm not going to let my Imam die before I die. I put my life, sacrifice everything I have for my Imam. This is al-ihtiram. This is the respect that everyone who loves Abul Fadl should show for Imam al-Hussein and the other A'immat Ahlul Bayt. Number four, responsibility of Atba Ahlul Bayt to show support, to help Ahlul Bayt, whether it's financial, intellectual, spiritual, in any way that we can advance, help to advance the agenda of Ahlul Bayt. That is our duty. This is why the Quran talks about al-khums, وَأَعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا غَنِمْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَأَنَّ لِلَّهِ خُمُسَهُ وَلِلرَّسُولِ وَلِذِي الْقُرْبَى. That the khums of our amwal, we have to show even our financial support through Sahmul Imam for Ahlul Bayt. And that is not for Ahlul Bayt for personal, no, to promote the mission and the message of Ahlul Bayt. How can they communicate if they don't have investment and enough tools of transition of their values and traditions to the rest of the community? So this is why we need to support Ahlul Bayt. That's another responsibility, Sahmul Imam. And now in the age of Al-Ghayba, Al-Kubra, the long occultation, this is why we continue Sahmul Imam for the same cause of supporting the mission of Ahlul Bayt. رحم الله امرأ رحم الله عبدا أحيا أمرنا فقلت له يا ابن رسول الله كيف نحيي أمركم؟ قال يتعلم علومنا ويعلمها الناس فإن الناس لو علموا محاسن كلامنا لاتبعونا. Imam Rida alayhi salam said, bless those who promote our mission. And the person is asking, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, how can we promote that? How can we bring life to your mission? He said, to learn it and to teach the rest of the community. So we support them through education and learning and listening, and we support them through investment. One of the areas is interfaith, what we are doing at the House of Wisdom, emphasizing on interfaith. But we need investment to support this cause. I approach a person that always talked about, interfaith and admires House of Wisdom, admires me for interfaith, and he is rich, he's a doctor. And I said that should be a good case, that this guy is professional, he is rich, and he is very much interested in interfaith. And I said 2019 is another year that we want to promote interfaith. Are you ready to do some investment? If you have only $50,000 to invest with the conferences, outreach, interfaith gathering, promoting education, spread the light of Ahlul Bayt and their teachings. He said, okay, let me think about it. And I never heard back from him. But I said at least it's good to say it, because talk cheap. Sometimes we talk a lot. But when we come to action, that really matters. So we have Asr al-Nubuwwah, and then we have Asr al-Imamah, and now we are in the third stage of history of Islam, Asr al-Ilm. That the Imam is not physically among us, but then his mission is there. Al-ulama warathatul anbiya, Asr al-Ilm, that the ulama, those who are really warathul anbiya, the earth here is not the money. The earth is the mission of the anbiya. Warathatul anbiya, those who stand for justice, those who promote the mission of anbiya. من كان من الفقهاء سائلا لنفسه حافظا لدينه مخالفا لأمر هواه مطيعا لأمر مولاه فللعوام أن يقلدوه. Those people, أصحاب العلم, with this quality of purity and courage and passion and action for this faith, we have to follow them and we have to support them. This is responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. So these are al-ma'rifah, al-mawaddah, al-ihtiram, al-dam, and support. These are just a few responsibilities that we have towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Marhum Dr. Ali Shariati, God bless his soul, that amazing man. I used to, when I was in Hawza in Isfahan, I loved to see Dr. Ali Shariati. He was in Tehran. I couldn't, because I was following his lectures, and it was tough at that time. We didn't have this communication. But sometimes they type his lecture, and so somehow you get access, somebody has his lectures. I used to follow and read his lectures at that time. By the time that I moved to Tehran, I was in Hawza. I joined the Hawza, I was 12 years old. So I was young when I was following him. When I moved from Isfahan to Tehran, that was the time that he was not in Tehran. He had left and under the oppression of Shah, and he moved, part of it he was in jail, and after jail he was in London. He made 5 lectures about under Mas'uliyat al-Shi'a budan. What is the responsibility of being a Shi'a? It's easy to say, I'm the Shi'a. He made 5 lectures on that. God bless him, I never saw him. But then I realized when he passed away, and he was almost 45 years old, that he died. And we heard that under suspicion, Shah, and it was not like a natural death. something happened to him. And they did not allow his body to be taken to Iran at that time. It was time of Shah. The body was sent to Syria and was buried in Zainabiyya. If you go to Damascus, the grave of Dr. Ali Shariati is next to Sayyidah Zainab, alayhi salam. And the one who did Salat al-Janazah for Dr. Ali Shariati was Imam Musa Sadr. Subhanallah. And Imam Musa Sadr, he made a lecture on Arba'in, the 40th day of the death of Dr. Shariati. When the family of Shariati, they arrived in Beirut, and Imam Musa Sadr himself, he drove to the airport and he welcomed the family and he took them to his house. SubhanAllah, today when I was organizing my thought about this lecture, I went online to see if I can find the lecture of Imam Musa Sadr on Arba'in of Dr. Ali Shariati. SubhanAllah, I found it. It's in Farsi. Tears came to my mind when I listened to his amazing, powerful, divine lecture of Imam Musa Sadr, talking about our responsibility. He said there are some people who submit under the oppression, they stop struggle and they submit to Shah. There are second group of the people who don't submit, but they don't struggle, they escape to go to different places, they don't want to do their duty and responsibility. Group number 3 are the ones who struggle, but they rent the instrument of struggle from others. Like the Marxists, like the communists, they want to do the jihad, or some Muslims, but they are using different ideology. And he said, but Dr. Ali Shariati was group number 4 that did not submit, continues the struggle, and he used the instrument that Islam itself, the Islamic ideology. He was the Sirat al-Mustaqim, not Sirat al-Maghdubin, not Sirat al-Dhalleen. Amazing lecture. And at that time, this lecture happened in 1978, like 1 year before the victory of revolution in Iran. And subhanallah, when Imam Musa Sadr made that lecture, 2 months later, Imam Musa Sadr disappeared. Because this lecture was almost in June, and Imam Musa Sadr left Beirut for Libya on August, I think, almost 2 months later. Never came back. At that time, some members of Majlis al-A'la, they met with Safir Shah in Beirut, because the ambassador of Shah in Beirut was very active. He went to some of the members and they said, you know, we were against this lecture that Imam Musa Sadr made about Dr. Ali Shariati. And then the ambassador of Shah asked them that, then go out and say it. They said, well, we don't want to say it, but, you know, Imam Musa Sadr didn't tell us about Dr. Shariati. We don't know who is Dr. Ali Shariati. But now my point is, when he talked, yes, please, Brother David is asking you to just little bit move forward. Ba'da salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Move forward, please come towards me. I promise I'm not going to bite anybody. Don't be afraid of me. So come forward. Dr. Shariati, he said, مسئولیت شیعه بودن. And the bottom line is that it's not only Buka ala Imam al-Hussein, it's not just Ashura, it's not just do this dua and do that dua, oh, I want to have more money, then this dua. I want to like be that way, you know, just do that dua. And then stay and doing nothing, no. I want God to forgive me and all the sins are gone, just this dua. I want to go to heaven, that dua. What about action then? What about action? He said the bottom line, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Our responsibility, brothers and sisters, towards Ahlul Bayt goes back to our action, asalatul amal. That is what the leadership of Imam Ali is about. If we are not going to do anything, then what is the difference between us who follow Imam Ali and those who follow Muawiyah if there is no action? If you go to the best doctor and get the best prescription, but are not going to practice it, what is the difference between you and someone who never visits any doctor, never receive any prescription? The difference is in action. And Marhum Shariati said, number one mas'uliyah, responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt, is that we stand for Al-Quran and Sunnah. That's number one. That the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet are the source of our guidance. Number two, we show commitment to Ahlul Bayt. Commitment in action. Number three, responsibility number three, just when you talk the talk of Imam Ali, when you talk the talk of Imam Hussein, you walk the walk of Ali, you walk the walk of Hussein. Number four, whenever you face al-batil, falsehood, reject that, regardless of the price. And I said, I'm very brief. Each item has so many explanations. Number five, stand for justice. That is our responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt. Because if Ali is Sawt al-Adalat al-Insaniyya, if this Sawt al-Adalat al-Insaniyya, the voice of justice, universal justice, that is our leader, then we have to follow that. Number six, responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt, to stand against all the moral and social diseases. Standing against ignorance, arrogance, greed, fear, prejudice, oppression, discrimination, all of these diseases, we must stand against them. Number seven, always remember Ashura. That doesn't mean that we make Imam Hussein or Imam Ali just an idol to worship them. We worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we remember them in a sense of Hal min Nasrin Yansuruni, how we do the Nusra, dam and support for Ahlul Bayt, how we act like Ahlul Bayt, how we do at-tashayyu' means mushayya, means al-mutaba'a, how we do that. And number eight, another responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt is to bring their culture to our family. Can you imagine if our families are like families of Ahlul Bayt? That the husband is like Imam Ali, the wife is like Sayyidah Fatima, the sons are like Hassan and Hussein, the daughters are like Zainab and Kulthum. That is a revolution. But now what we see, instead of love and instead of respect and loyalty, is everything is about money. We deal with so many divorces. Most of the cases, the issue is money. Everybody is fighting about money. There was a time that the husband wants to get everything, give her nothing. Now they say, okay, half and half. Now we see some wives, they are saying half and half is not enough, I want to take the whole thing. They say, give me 100% and you leave the house. So everything about selfishness and everything is about money and material, not morality, not love, not loyalty, not commitment, not responsibility. And this is why we have this mess in the community, mess in the country and the world. This is our responsibility. Al-amal, al-amal. وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَ اللَّهُ. Allah would see your action, and the Prophet and the Mu'mineen. So these are responsibilities towards Ahlul Bayt. But brothers and sisters, it's not only our problem that we forgot about action as a responsibility. Not just the Shia, not only Muslim, Christians, they are going the same problem now. Look at the Christmas. Huge discussion whether Virgin Mary possible or not. How can a virgin girl who was 14 years old have a baby? Now it's a big discussion. Oh, this is against science. Well, you have more science than Allah? Allah who created the heavens and the earth? Allah who created Adam and Eve without father and mother? You think that Allah is not able to bring baby Jesus without father? You have no science than God Himself? What are you talking about? So that is the discussion. There's another discussion about Christmas, that whether Jesus was born in December 25th or not. As a matter of fact, I was listening to this Pat Robertson. He was saying that Jesus was not born in the 25th of December. This is a pagan. Everything about Christmas, and this is evangelical, Pat Robertson. He says the Christmas tree is pagan, decoration is pagan. All of this exchange of hadaya and gifts is pagan. The pagans, they had all these customs in Rome. Then they became Christian, and they kept all the custom of the age of paganism, but they put it in the name of Christianity. And Jesus was not born in 25th. They said, well, this is the date, because that day was a day of pagan celebration, so they chose this for that. He says none of them is true, but now we have it anyway. We go with it, and we do all of this thing, and we say Merry Christmas, and so on and so forth. You see, some people are talking about whether Virgin Mary possible. Some people just talking about history of Christmas, what date or time Jesus was born. I mean, we can discuss all of these things. But the main issue is the message of Messiah. The teachings of Jesus, they are the victims. That's the problem about Muslims. About Christian, of course, in the Quran 70 times, Jesus and his mom were honored. Prophet Muhammad mentioned the Quran only 4 times, 5 times. Jesus and Mary 70 times. We honor Jesus. But the point is the message of Isa. Even in Lebanon, the Al-Manar Mahatta, did you hear that Al-Manar TV? They covered all the Christmas service of the church in Beirut. The entire service was aired by Al-Manar. We have no problem with that. But the message of Jesus, if Jesus was for poor, he was for homeless, he was for hungry, he was for the sick, he was for weak and vulnerable, he was for the oppressed. So what is going on among the community, especially some evangelicals, that they talk about Jesus, and they all support Trump, by the way. I mean, how can you talk about Jesus of love and hate? How can you talk about Jesus of peace but be warmonger? How you can talk about a Jesus who supported the poor but you support only the billionaires? How you talk about Jesus of humbleness and you are arrogant? So the same problem, the action. If you look at James 2, verse 14 to 26, is, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds, can such a faith save him or her? No way. This is why the Quran says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. The faith and function, the worship of God and work for humanity. So you talk about Jesus, then you are talking about love and peace and justice and service and sacrifice. But in action, if you are doing exactly opposite, then forget about that. This is why if you follow the subject I chose for this khutbah today, I said, birth of baby of Bethlehem, an invitation to a banquet of benevolence and brotherhood, and rejection of extremism, arrogance, irresponsibility, and warmongering. So those evangelicals, if they are honest about their love for Jesus, then they have to totally change their policies and change their practices. Otherwise, even if Jesus comes to their churches today, they are not going to follow Jesus. They are not going to welcome Jesus, because they are totally different values. So brothers and sisters, our talk today about our responsibility towards Ahlul Bayt. Al-Ma'rifah, Al-Mawaddah, Al-Ihtiram, Al-Dam, Al-Amal. And then we talk about 8 points that Marhum Shariati talk about Shia responsibility, what Imam Musa Sadr talk about the responsibility that we have. And this is what we need to remember and have in our mind for 2019, inshallah, that if we talk about Ahlul Bayt, number one, to organize ourselves, because Imam Ali said, وَالنَّظْمِ أَمْرِكُمْ, and number two, to support the mission of Ahlul Bayt. One of the things that you can do is to renew your membership. There are a lot of people who are members of House of Wisdom, and they are supporting this House of Wisdom, House of Worship, House of Unity, House of Love, House of Service, House of Sacrifice. And some people who would like to show their support, one way is just to become a member of House of Wisdom. Include this in your schedule for 2019. Volunteerism, one thing that so many good Christians are doing. By the way, I talk about negative part, but at the same time there are millions and millions of Christians that they show their love for Jesus in their action. They are volunteers, and they are helping and supporting everyone, even non-Muslim. They go to other countries and other lands to serve humanity. So we have to focus also on the positive things that they are doing. And inshallah you consider volunteerism, that I may give a khutbah just about the importance of volunteerism, because we have an international day of volunteerism, that engagement, involvement, working for the community, working for the country, working for the humanity in a volunteer way. This is something that Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam were doing it, and inshallah you and your families enjoy a 2019 of safety and security and success. I know that 2018 was a tough year in Yemen, in Gaza, in Syria, in many other places, and even in our country. It was the worst year in the United States in mass shooting. You know that 113 students in the schools in the United States were killed or wounded in 2018 out of mass shootings. So 2018 was one of the worst years when it came to violence and terrorism and mass shooting in even educational places in America. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for safety and security for our nation and our country and the Middle East, Muslims, non-Muslims, and especially the end of war in Syria, in Yemen, in Gaza, with peace and prosperity for Palestinians and for other oppressed people and all victims of oppression and injustice. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr inna al-insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu as-salihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr wa ila as-salati inna as-salata tanha 'anil fahsha wal munkar. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullah. Brothers and sisters, please move forward as we are making the lines for Salatul Jum'ah. Stand up and move forward.